Welcome to Todd Talk. Today I'm going to tell you about the time I was the world's worst roommate.
Todd Talk is brought to you by Deaver Foods. Now 10% less lethal.
Oh boy, roommates. So when I turned 18, I moved out. I was the kind of kid who just could not wait to get out on my own, be out from under the thumb of authority, and have the whole world as my oyster. When I first moved out, I moved out with 4 other guys into a 2-bedroom apartment. Only 3 of us were on the lease, and we ended up getting evicted after 6 months. We were all sporadically employed, we had a pet when we weren't supposed to, we partied all the time, and it was a great lesson in apartment living. After a short stay at my parents' house, I moved back out with a roommate and was out ever since. So after a while, started seeing a girl, got serious, we moved in together, and being young people, not making a lot of money, we got a roommate to help lower expenses. My girlfriend and I had 1 bedroom, he had the other bedroom, but we still split everything 3 ways. So she and I were paying for most of the bills and electricity and rent and things like that, just the way it kind of worked. And the guy who moved in with us is a really cool guy. We were buddies back in high school. He worked at a pizza place delivering pizzas, and he drove a really cool Honda Civic. The girlfriend and I had a lot of kitchen stuff and appliances. He had a really big, awesome TV, so it was a pretty good arrangement. We had a lot of friends in common, and, people would come over and hang out, and things were pretty stable. It was a pretty good time. But then something changed. So one day the roommate tells us that his younger brother lost his job, didn't have a place to stay, and was going to crash on the couch for about a week. At first it was no big deal. We had met him before, he was a cool guy, so he was just kind of hanging out. But then 1 week turned into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks. And sort of like a hobo, he was just living on the couch. So when you wanted to watch TV, there was just always somebody taking up part of the couch. And all of his belongings were just kind of stuffed behind the couch, between the couch and the wall. And at first he kept it pretty organized, but then it started to kind of spill out. And, there's like the dirty laundry pile on one end of the couch. And then pretty soon he's controlling the remote. And it was just this person who's taking up space in your house. So I had asked him what his plan was, and there wasn't much of one. So we talked to our roommate and we said, hey man, happy to help your brother out, but what's the plan? He's just kind of taking up space. He's not paying for anything. He's always on the couch. He's always hogging up the TV. And his response was, it's my couch and it's my TV. Now, one of the great things about getting older is you get perspective. I am much more reasonable than I ever have been. I'm a better negotiator. I'm a lot more level-headed. But back then, not so much. Back then, I got unreasonably mad. So the next day, the roommate and his brother go out to get something to eat, and I put my plan into action. So I turned off the fuse box, and I went through every electrical outlet in the living room, dining room, and kitchen. Took the plate off the front, removed the wires from the outlet, and reassembled it. I had a CD player in my bedroom, and I put on Madonna's Lucky Star, pretty loud, on repeat, locked my bedroom door, and we left. On the front door, I put a note that said, it's my electricity. So you can just imagine him getting home and finding that none of the electrical appliances worked. His TV wouldn't turn on, nothing he plugged in would work. Diabolical. If I remember right, I think the girlfriend and I went to the zoo for the day. And when we went back home, I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to find. So we opened the door, and everything was dark, and we could still hear Madonna's Lucky Star playing from the bedroom, and the couch had returned to its pristine, clutter-free state. The next day, we talked to the roommate, and he had moved his brother in with their parents, a little bit more of a permanent situation until he could find a job. And then he was like, what did you do? Like I said, when you get older, you get a little bit more mellow, a little bit more reasonable. Most people do. Not everybody. Some people never learn. Generally speaking, I'm still not great with conflict, but I'm much, much more collaborative and cooperative. That being said, sometimes it's just really great to say, checkmate.